Tracey and Violet from Tea Time with Tracey and Violet. And we're going to talk about a book tonight before I watch the Blair Witch Project. I just got done ending a video for this channel. Just the wrap up of the reading vlog I did for The Only Good Indians. I would have done a reading vlog for this book, but this was before. I read this before I started doing reading vlogs just to experiment to see if I could do them. But I'm going to use the same teacup I used for that and teapot. But let me finish this and I'll show her to you. Yeah. Upstairs in my attic. You can't tell. You guys are looking at the messy part of the attic. I'm looking at the TV and kind of cleared area. VHS lounge. We're going to watch the Blair Witch with the lights off, Violet. Don't fight me on this. And it's raining out and it's fall and I got apple cinnamon tea, like spooky much. Anyways, I want to light. I actually have a candle over here too I meant to get. Oh gosh. I have, oh, is it over here? Oh, yeah. What is this? No, it fell off, for crying out loud. Well, I guess we'll just have the white one. We won't have the black one. That's all right. You might see little floaties. There might be people up here with us that you can't see. But they might make themselves known, because sometimes they do. But they're very nice. Don't be scared. Oh, come on. Perfect. Anyways, I'll put this off to the side so I don't burn my sleeve when I bend over to show you this beautiful lady. I know it's hard to tell because I don't know lighting very well and it kind of washes it out, but I love these colors. And this is her back. There. And I don't know if you can tell, like she's not just, she has bumps like the waves. You can kind of see there on the side. And she has gold on this side, and on her elbow. So gold up at the top, gold down at the bottom. And then this is her skirt or pedestal. Yeah, pretty, and you can see the waves on that too. I don't know if you can hear the rain, but I can. Can you hear it, Violet? Can you hear it? Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna have another. I was about to pour that tea right in the saucer. Today I want to talk about the book Violet. Violet. Yes, that's right. It's called Violet by Scott Thomas. He's the same gentleman that wrote the book Kill Creek. And I loved Kill Creek. Let me just have another snort off of this. I loved Kill Creek. So, of course, I was excited to see he had another book. I think these are the only two books he's ever wrote. I bought a secondhand from Thrift Books and Kings County Library System. What I love, well, just right off the bat, the edges, these papers, they're like textured. They're not like the smooth, like they're rough. I've never had a book like that. I wish all books were like this. I really, 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 really like it. I don't know if it's a special edition that it's made like this or what, but I'm glad I got one. I thought it was cool. It felt very comfortable in my hand. But anyways, down to the story. Is there a little write-up? Let me see. For many children, the summer of 1988 was filled with sunshine and laughter. But for 10-year-old Chris Barlow, it was her chance to say goodbye to her dying mother. 3 decades later, loss returns. Her husband is killed in a car accident, and so Chris goes home to the place where she first knew pain, to the summer house overlooking crystal waters of Lost Lake. It's there that Chris and her 8-year-old daughter will make their stand against grief. But a shadow has fallen over the quiet lake town of Pacington, Kansas. Beneath its surface, an evil has grown, and inside that home where Chris Barlow last saw her mother, an old friend awaits her return. Violette. This story, I really didn't know. I just knew it was like a haunted cottage. That's all I knew when I started this book. This book starts off pretty gruesome. This book starts off with Chris having an internal dialogue when she's driving to the summer cottage, but then she's recounting the night when she got the call that her husband had died in a car crash. It's right off the get, guys, right off the get. There's not really any spoilers, and it says it right on the back. She's remembering that night, the call, the walking to the morgue or wherever it is, the door opening, the sterile scents, chemical colors, dull and quiet. It was in the middle of the night, so nobody was there except for the lab person, who wasn't even there waiting when she got there, so she had to wait out in the main lobby and for this man to come. He was very professional, wasn't rude, but he was just doing his job. And she remembers walking in to see her husband, and he kind of advises her not to get too close because it's kind of graphic. And the details in here of what this man looks like does not sound pretty. It was actually quite gruesome. It was a car accident. The gruesome details of how his face was just shaped differently, and his teeth were pointing here and there, and his hair was here and there, and it was pretty gruesome, which that didn't bother me. I'm just giving you a heads up, and that's right off the get. So this whole time she's driving to this cottage, she has not been there in 30 years. The last time she was there with her father and her mother, who was dying of cancer, and that's where her mother died, and she had never been back. As far as she knew, her father had been renting it out, like as a summer home. That was her understanding, but lo and behold, he told the realtor, he started off doing that, but then he told the realtor, just shut it down, don't even maintain it, let it burn in hell, let it go, let the earth take it back. He just didn't. But Chris wasn't aware of this, so she lands in this little pocket town, like it's really just a little hole in the wall. Seemed like a cute little town, like a nice place, a touristy place, you know. And the cottage has been unkempt for years. So I really like the description in this book because I could really get a visual for, well, first of all, Chris driving in the middle of the night with her daughter. I can't even remember what her daughter's name is. In the back seat, sleeping. And the little girl's not quite the same since her father passed, but that's why Chris is going to this cottage. She has the best memories there, except for when her mother passed. But of growing up with spending time with her mother and her father, she was an only child. She thought that might help her daughter come out of the grief and someplace away from the hubbub, the rat race of her life back in the city where she was from, or living with her husband. She thought this would help her. And by the way, Chris is a veterinarian, and I don't know what her husband was, I forget now. And she just wanted to escape all the fakeness, because I think he was some sort of bigwig maybe. And just, there was a lot of people in her life, but she didn't really care for them a whole lot. Like, it was just snobbery. You know what I mean? She didn't want to be around that. So they go to this cottage, and like I say, it's overgrown. The door's even hard to open. She goes there, the realtor said the key's under the rock, and she has a hard time getting the key to turn because it's been seized up. So what a shocker for her, because she thought it was a cottage. This is a rundown little cottage now. Well, I don't know how little it was because there isn't upstairs to it, but they open the door and they smell something, like just a horrible smell. So Chris goes in, of course, and roots around, tries to find it. The place is layered in dust. It's not so much dirty, like messy, like somebody trashed it. It's just, it hasn't been opened. It's been like a sealed casket, and it's never been opened. So there's dust everywhere, filth, dust. But there was a dead bird, is what the smell was. And I'm not going to go in and tell you the whole story, but the longer Chris is here at this cottage, the more flashbacks she has. One, to her childhood, which are good memories. Two, to the time when her mother was sick and couldn't do the loving things that she wanted her mom to do. Like, her mom was laying in bed sick. So there's a huge issue of grief in this book. I was getting a little flustered with this book at first because I was thinking that it was going to be like Kill Creek. I was one of those people thinking, oh, Kill Creek was like, you know, pretty fast-paced in the sense, like the story was very engaging and there was stuff around every corner and that kind of thing. This is not like that. This is much more of a slow burn. And I don't mind slow burns, but I wish I'd have known it was a slow burn. I mind slow burns sometimes, but I was a little disappointed in the sense it wasn't what I was expecting. But I went in here not knowing what kind of paranormal stuff was in this book. Like, I just thought a haunted cottage. Like, I didn't know. It's not quite that. Kind of that, but not quite that. And I'm not going to tell you. But during the flashbacks to when Chris was younger, she remembers the good times with her mom and dad. Her mom listening to certain cassette tapes and dancing and playing, and there was a swing set and everything like that. When her mom fell sick, Chris was scared of her mother because her mother was frail and not what she used to look like. Cancer is a horrible disease. So she loved her mother, but she was scared of her mother. Her mother was like a skeleton in the bed. And she had to, like, have an imaginary friend or, you know, make games to be away from the house. She was going to go exploring. She was going to do this or that. And anyway, she has a lot of regrets. And her little girl, she sees her little girl starting to do the same things that she felt she was doing, in a sense. Now, Chris isn't dying, of course, but she sees her little girl all of a sudden being there and being happy, but not being happy being around her mom. Not that she doesn't want to be around her mom, but her mom doesn't ever hear her laugh when she's around her. She hears her laughing when she's playing by herself and playing games by herself. And Chris has little flashbacks of that, but they're not clear flashbacks. So things go on. The little town that this lake is close to, like, they don't live in the town, they live out in the woods kind of thing. The little town, the people are very nice. Some of them are kind of strange, but some of them are very nice. the town has been known for young girls going missing. I forget how many there are now, 4 or 5 girls in the past 20 years maybe? I forget. I forget exactly. They have all gone missing from that little tiny pocket of the town. There might be more girls. I really can't recall right off the bat. But these girls have, well, they've all been found eventually, and they had died. All but one. And yeah, all the girls were about the same age as Chris's daughter. So Chris gets wind of this story, and she's like, what? But nobody's really telling her about the details, so she tries to find out things on her own, which is kind of a circus. So anyways, I'm giving you little tidbits from the story. There's certainly much more going on in this. I do have to say there is death of an animal in this, which is kind of heartbreaking. I didn't care for that very much, but not that I didn't like the story for that. Like, it's just, I don't want animals to die, but in real life they do, so, you know, just a heads up about that. The story was good. I liked it more the longer I've been away from it. Like, when I think about it now, I did enjoy it. When I was reading it then, I liked it enough to finish, but I'm just like, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. You know what I mean? But for me, it's more of a summertime read because it seems to be during the summer. The lake that they live on is kind of an artificial lake. Years ago, I think the government were doing some sort of mining thing, or I forget now, but a gusher came and made this artificial lake. So it's a clear lake, and there's cottages around, but not many people live in cottages around there anymore. Like, the town's just kind of dying. The town's dying, which is kind of heartbreaking. But anyways, I recommend this book if you don't mind slow burns. And it's more, this book for me was more about grief. There is some paranormal stuff in this, but it was more focused on grief. Chris had some issues. She loved her daughter. She loved her family, but the way she was dealing with it, self-medicating, if you know what I'm saying, is not good. But it's very realistic, because I think people do that a lot of the time. So not that she's a bad mother. She's a struggling, grieving mother, wife, trying to nurture a struggling, grieving daughter at a place where the whole town is dying. And it's kind of a big story about grief with a speckle of paranormal. So, Violet, I like the book. I like it more that I'm done it and I had time to process it more. I like Kill Creek better, but yeah, I would recommend it. Just know, if you did read Kill Creek, this is not like Kill Creek at all. At all. I'm not giving up on Scott Thomas. I hope that he does another book, whether it's like this or like the other one. I'll just be aware that he can write different styles, because this style is certainly different than Kill Creek. Not everybody can write different styles. They're all kind of one-trick ponies. Different stories, but one-trick ponies in regards to the style. This is a different style and a different story than Kill Creek. So, anyways, I'll just be aware. If he doesn't do another book, I'll do a little more investigating just to see what kind of story it is. I like to go into stories kind of blind, but I like to know a little bit of information. So, anyways, that's all I'll say about this. So, I want to get to Blair Witch. Violet does too. She's over here whispering in my ear. I don't know if you can hear her. So I'm going to say peace, love, and happiness today and every single day. Please like, share, and subscribe if you so choose. But if not, that's okay too. I still love ya. I still want all the happiness in the world for each and every one of you out there. I certainly do. I really, really honest and truly do. Yes, I do. So All right, I just dawned on me. I don't think I said where this teacup was from. I don't believe I did. There's a sticker on here. I just like to do this for record's sake. Delphine, China, made in England. And there's a piece of tape here, like this must have been somebody's teacup before. I keep putting it back on. Jean Harris. So whoever Jean Harris is, I'm taking good care of your teacup. I bought lots of teacups off of yard sales and stuff like that, so I think that's where this one probably came from. All right, guys. Well, with that, I'm going to say have a good night or have a good morning. And I might see you tomorrow. Bye. Bloop.